just sitting in my living room looking at rainbow prismatic effects being generated by those two little hanging crystals and the associated beaded strings they're hanging on, because I find that kind of interesting. Yeah, there's some noisy crows outside. Normally I love all creatures. One just flew by. But I don't have a fondness for the crows. They're not very soothing at all in my estimation. They kind of break up the peaceful atmosphere of the afternoon, enjoying the scene outside. The living room here, if we look down, you can see we're on the water front, an estuary of the Umpqua River. At tidewater, the tide comes in and out here. I prefer high tide. It seems like we get more waterfowl and things. I might have to get my BB gun and explain something to that crow if he keeps it up. No, I won't do that. I will live and let live. Maybe. Depending on how obnoxious he gets. I would not like to really take the life of any of God's creatures unless it's a fish I'm planning to eat. But you know, fish don't have frontal lobes, so they don't feel fear and pain in the way that a human being or a higher order mammal would feel it. They might have an aversion, but they don't really feel pain as we know it. So a lot of people misunderstand because they anthropomorphize some of the critters that we are familiar with, not realizing that, for example, a worm has no brain and can't feel anything other than an autonomic nerve response. Maybe we should go out on the deck, if the wind noise isn't too bad, and see what's going on out there. I think we're losing the sun, so we won't get those bright prismatic effects that I was enjoying for a few minutes. Looked like the sun came out again, so I can't resist trying to capture the prismatic colors. I'm easily amused by light and color, I guess. We'll try this up close. See if we can capture any of the colors. Or if it's just going to be an overexposure of light. I seem to have trouble focusing because this is a clear object. Got a lot of bird activity out here. They really appreciate that squawking is a blue heron that's hanging out in the area up the way there. There's one across the river. It'd be a little hard to zoom in on him, but we'll try. And there's also, oh, there he goes. There's also an egret. A white egret. I always appreciate these birds. They're so patient. The way they stalk the little fish that they find in the water there along the shore. I'm super zoomed. I'm going to have to back up, or you'll get a very shaky camera. This is my home in Oregon, the back deck. Place I'm looking forward to moving in the near future. Got some things I have to do down in California first. A couple of medical things, and got my own plan down there. Things like that. Guess we're not going to get too many more of these prismatic light effects. So I'll go back to checking on the progress of Mr. Egret, who is now hanging out with some kind of small waterfowl over there. And the waterfowl is swimming just ahead of him. We're doing super zoom now. Try to hold the camera still if I can. It's not easy when you're zoomed in this much. I like the shadow he casts on the water. Now we're going to get a breeze. I've actually seen otters out here and saw a gold eagle pluck a fish right off the surface of the water.